Welcome to Blynd Submyshynz, where DIY bands submit songs for us to listen to and react to blind. Every week, we'll bring a guest from the underground music, arts, or entertainment scene to help you soar through mountains of new music. We go in blind, so you don't have to. Blynd Submyshynz.
Blynd Submyshynz.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, Jeff?
I'm in a peppy mood, considering.
Right.
So if you're a regular listener and or subscriber, you know already that last week there was supposed to be an episode with Marc Brandi from Lowcaster and Mustard Gas and Roses.
Yeah.
And I fucked up and didn't hit the record button. I mean, I hit one of them. I just didn't hit the other one.
You just didn't hit both.
So, couple things.
It's not the it's the first.
It's the first lost. It's the first lost episode.
The first lost episode, yeah.
But wait,
because we did get audio with Max.
I think we figured out something that we can do with it.
Ooh, what can we do with it?
I don't know. We'll see. If Mark's on board, maybe we can.
Are we gonna have some fun with it?
Yeah, maybe we'll make a little parody episode out of it.
That'd be awesome.
And let Mark re-record his tracks over ours and just answer however the fuck he wants.
Yeah, seriously.
That'll be fun. I think we should do it. Hopefully Mark's down.
It's funny you should ask that. I had no idea this question was coming.
Interesting. God, that's a stupid fucking question, you dickhead. No. So what we're not going to do is
spend too much time doing an intro.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll intro a little bit, but we already did the whole preamble, and he can sprinkle some of that information in when he does his follow-up episod, which will be hilarious. But yeah, we'll just bring him on and fucking get going.
You know what we forgot to do?
What did we forget?
Blynd Submyshynz.
Welcome to today's episode of Blynd Submyshynz. I'm just scrambled.
Yeah.
I was waiting to apologize. I felt so bad when I went to do the production, and I was like,
guess what, Mark?
I get to the part of the workflow where I pull the guest audio out of the Zoom folder, and there's no Zoom folder, and I was like, oh yeah.
Oh fuck.
And then I thought Mark had recorded, but he didn't. Not his fault.
Yeah.
He didn't have permission to record on Zoom, so
oops. Oh well.
Oh well. So anyways, we're gonna bring Mark back on. New for you. This was just a week ago for us. Fresh
as
as fuck.
The second time we spoke to him.
So
it might be weird.
We're gonna listen to all new music, and then the music that we listened to in the last episode will show up when we put out this fun bonus episode.
Yeah. I mean, no, never mind.
There were some good bands.
There was some really good bands, actually.
So
I don't think there was any band that we didn't really like.
I don't want those to get lost. All right. So without further ado, subscribe, share with your friends.
We're not going to play his music again either because we played it last week.
Submit music, please. Please submit music. Bands directly to us. We love when bands send music directly to blindsub@gmail.com.
Yes, and that was exactly what we played last week.
Last
week was all directly from the bands.
Submitted.
So really quick, I will tell you, if you want to check them out ahead of time,
yes,
you can. We checked out Chorosia, Chorosia, Witches, Geonosian was the song, and then we listened to Breaths, and the song was Like Wires. So if you want to check them out, or you can wait and see if the fun episode does come out. Either way, we'll at least get the bands in there somewhere else.
Yes,
maybe.
we'll find a way.
Yeah.
All right. So without any further ado, Marc Brandi.
Bing dong.
Brandi.
I did my announcer voice.
Hi.
How's it going? How's it going, Mark?
Are you frozen?
Yeah, just fuck us with a pause. We deserve it for sure.
Totally.
So I'm done apologizing to the listeners. Thanks for agreeing to rejoin us so quick. I was so bummed not to. It was such a great episode.
It really was.
So bummed not to get it out. We listened to good music. So,
dude, the only thing I remember from the last episode, and it's not because you guys weren't stellar. It was just, for some reason, this one thing stands out. Is out of nowhere, JD started fucking cracking up, and I have no idea why, but it was like uncontrollable, and he's probably going to start doing it again.
He was making fun of me. Something I did. He thought was hilarious.
Inside joke. Okay.
So if you take us up on our offer and record the parody episode, there's really a moment there where you can probably add something funny.
Okay.
When he's cracking up.
Yeah.
I remember that too, and I was like, I did something annoying.
I'll have to-
didn't I? And JD's laughing at me.
I have to keep my eye on like if your hands are like below the table. Like, oh, what's
No.
JD
Do you
doing?
I will. Yes.
Do you
so
remember?
you were
Okay.
telling a story,
Yes.
and then I thought the story was over. But you kept telling the story, and then I thought the story was over, and then you kept telling the story, and then
Ooh,
kept telling the story, and I thought the story was over, and then you kept telling it. I was just like, holy shit, this is like the longest story ever.
Okay, I'm gonna have to find that. What story was that?
I have no idea.
Oh man, that's great.
I don't even know if it was all one story. It might have been a bunch of multiple subjects.
It's weird. It doesn't sound like me at all.
Yeah.
I don't
No.
usually do that. Oh hey, Mark.
It's
Oh hi,
just
Mark.
stitching them all together. That's when you just interject and be like, cool story, bro.
Cool story, bro. Yeah.
Oh hi, Mark. That was. Did you? Okay, so the hilarious video floating around. In the wake of Facebook's Meta announcement, I don't know if you follow these types of things.
I'm barely on Facebook.
That they're changing the company name to Meta, and ultimately they're launching the Metaverse, which is like a VR world that we can all live in.
Yay.
Which
Because the real
Neil's-
world sucks.
well,
Not
well,
that Facebook's world's going to be any better.
no, it's going to be a fucking cesspool.
It's just
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be Second Life with your VR set on.
But
Yeah.
well, I mean, first of all, the Metaverse was coined by Neil Stevenson in Snow Crash.
Snow Crash, yeah.
Yeah, and doesn't like, and he tweeted, he's like, just for all of you asking me, nobody talked to me.
Right.
I didn't know anything about this. I'm not getting any money. So,
He may if he takes him to court, you know.
well, yeah. But then Deezus and Marrow, who have like a comedy late night show that's on Showtime and YouTube, just shredded. They did this goofy video announcement where Mark Zuckerberg looks like the most alien he's ever looked. And there's
That is funny.
There's one point where he walks into a room with virtual people, and I think one of them goes, "Oh hi, Mark,"
Yeah.
just like in the room. "Oh hi, Mark." And Jesus and Mero just like lost their shit. "Oh hi, Mark."
Hi, Mark. I think he walked in too, and he was like, "Oh, what is this place? Who built this?
Who built this amazing place? You did.
Yeah.
Shit.
I'm going to pat myself
Dickhead.
on the back.
Yeah. Yeah, you ever listen to your, well, maybe the answer is yes. You ever listen to your demos and go, fuck, man, those guys can write some songs?
Yeah. I've had those moments like, oh, yeah. Back when I was young and hungry.
Yeah. And then you play it for someone else and you just get like a blank stare and
Yeah,
then
they're
no
just
comment.
like,
And you're like,
"What?"
all right.
Oh, shit.
Yep. I have lots of those.
Yeah, we had plenty. It was funny. And after we finished recording that episode, I went home and I was cooking myself some dinner in the backyard. And Mark and I just started texting about whatever random bullshit. And I think ended up talking for like another hour.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's true.
I don't know if we have anything left to say at this point, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, maybe we should just
So, you in a
we should
band?
just post the we should post the text thread that you and I had because at
There you
least
go.
that's documented.
There you go. That would work too.
Yeah, buddy.
It was pretty serious stuff. So, quick recap because we probably don't want to go through all the same shit and make you tell the same stories
Yeah.
and all of that. But quick recap on sort of like how you got into music and where you came from. We know you're a Boston boy, and you know are connected to a lot of the folks that were there. I could see you and Steve Brodsky locking eyes at the Quicksand show and
Yeah,
blowing,
fist bumping and you know
blowing kisses to each other.
yeah, blowing kisses in the wind. So yeah, Steve and I were sort of roommates for a short bit. We both went to the same school, and so his girlfriend was my roommate 1 year. I can't remember what friggin' year it was.
Oh,
like
so that's why he
99
was-
or 2000. So he was always around.
Yeah.
And I remember he gave me a cassette copy of Jupiter before it came out. It was like a pre-master or whatever, and that was like
Wow.
fucking broke my brain because, like, you know,
Yeah.
up until that point, I'd become pretty disenchanted with like the Boston hardcore scene, and I just kind of chalked Cave-In Up to be another Boston hardcore band. But I think I saw them at the basement of Emerson College play with Kid Dynamite, if I remember correctly, and I was like, holy shit, like these dudes are doing something really weird. And then I became friends with Steve. He gave me that copy of Jupiter, and I think he gave me a copy of Creative Eclipses, if I remember correctly. I'm you know, my memory's shit.
Yeah.
But I just remember like listening to it and just being like, holy shit, like these dudes like are meshing like hardcore with like Rush and Pink Floyd, and I was just like, this was like doing things for my brain that like nothing, it was going to a place that like, bands like Failure had kind of done that, but
Yeah.
it definitely wasn't like as influenced as Cave-In was by Failure. It didn't seem derivative to me. Like that wasn't like the first line that I drew. So yeah, my upbringing is basically, grew up in Massachusetts, South Shore. My dad's a musician. My, first guitar was a fucking Fender Strat copy, a pink Ovation Applause, with a black pick guard.
Oh God, we had a whole rant about First Act. Right?
Yes.
We did.
So
Can we go
we
back
went
into
into
that?
it.
Because
Yeah.
I'm still...
Sure. Did you do any research?
Yeah, do you want to do some more?
No, I want them to come to us, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, dear listeners, if anyone can explain the history behind First Act making toy instruments, but then also bitchin' custom guitars for Matt Pike and dude from Russian Circles and
Dude from Saviors, yeah.
and Saviors, like how the fuck does this happen? I don't know.
I don't know.
And they're fucking awesome too.
and
like,
and Ovation. I mean, making these like, I mean, to me, Ovation was my best friend Dan. And put you on blast here for a minute. When he was in high school, bought one of those goofy plastic back acoustics with all the little holes in it.
Yeah.
And it's like he was so stoked at the time, but you look back at that thing now and you're just like, oh my God.
Did
so
they
so
give
bad.
you an awesome, like, long explanation of how the holes?
Oh no,
really
I
help
thought it
the
was
sound.
cool. I thought it was cool too.
Mhm.
It was a plug-in acoustic, so it just sounded like hot garbage. What's your take? So this came up with Jordan Olds from 2 Minutes to Late Night. Is there any way to record acoustic guitar with a pickup that sounds good, or do you always just have to mic it?
I like blending the both.
Oh really?
I guess it depends on what you're doing. If you want like a really, so pickup, it can be good for a thing like if you want the acoustic to sound more like percussive, you can kind of like EQ out the low end and you'll just get that strumming string attack, and it almost sounds like a shaker. So I use that a lot on, Lowcaster recordings and past bands that I've been in. I've always used that, like, oh, instead of having shaky here, just do an acoustic guitar playing the rhythm in the background, but like kind of scoop out all the low end stuff, and so you just get like that high end attack. And so it's like chicka 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 chicka.
Oh, interesting.
Wow.
So it can be good for that. I honestly, it's
so when you want it to sound like not a guitar.
yeah. When you want it to sound like a shaker, then use that. No,
Then
I mean they're
plug it
fine. They're fine. It's probably easy. I don't know much about live sound, but I'm sure if you're playing direct or something like that, a live sound guy can balance that, and it will keep, with microphones, shit will start feeding back, but with a pickup, it won't feed back the same way.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think it's probably for that live purposes.
So no live,
Good point.
No
Good
live
point.
acoustic performances for me ever. And this is the perfect opportunity to say my most hated instrument of all time is the acoustic bass. Not a double bass, a stand-up bass. No, the Violent Femme style acoustic bass, I think, is the worst sounding piece of garbage that has ever been built.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get behind it at all.
I concur.
Yeah.
They just kind of like they always just get lost. Like there's like you can't get something like that to project that kind of low end, those massive bass waves. They're not being created by a small instrument like that.
The body needs to be a lot bigger. Although I do kind of dig those bass ukuleles. They're super popular these days. I see a ton of them.
Bass ukulele.
What the fuck? Blowing your mind.
How is that a thing?
No, it's a
Really?
it's a thing. It's a little bigger.
Yeah, like a bass ukulele, is that just like a normal size acoustic guitar? Like what is a bass ukulele?
It's in between. I think they're kind of in between.
What is a bass-a-lele?
Bass-a-lele. I mean, it's just a small acoustic bass, but with the rubber strings, like the weird rubber strings that they use, and the different tuning. I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Sounds
I don't
like
own
somebody
one.
playing like a soapbox band.
A slap bass on some bass ukulele. We're gonna,
Can you tap too?
oh, you know me. I'm slapping and tapping.
Yeah, slapping and tapping, baby.
I mean, I make fun of it now, but we ever play that whole first Purple Circus record and
Yeah.
it's slapping and tapping all over it.
Is that you?
Yeah, that was me when I was 16.
Dude, you were basically my brother. My brother. So I was a little bit of a Primus fan because I like the stuff that Larry Lalonde would do, and my brother was a bass player and got really into like doing anything that Les Claypool would do. So it was all like beep 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 beep, like tappity tap, like no real melodic structure or any kind of like bass line going on, just noises, slappity beep beep beep. I think he even got like a Lexicon, breakout box to make some of like the weird distortion and effects and stuff that Les Claypool used at the time.
That's funny. I worked at Costco. Well, it was called Price Club back then.
Nice.
But there was a guy that I worked with who was like a jazz bass player in training. And, I'm 2 years into wanting to be Les Claypool. And I remember him schooling me so hard one night on how Les Claypool isn't actually a bass player. And I argued, oh God, did I argued with the confidence of a 16-year-old numbskull. Yeah. But he was so right. I mean, Les can play bass, but most Primus songs don't feature the bass the way the bass was originally meant to be used in rock and roll at all.
Well, that's that being said, there's definitely moments where Les can do a run and you're like, oh shit, you know exactly what you're doing. You're just choosing not to, and that's the difference between like, you got to know the rules to break the rules. Because otherwise it's just happy accidents, right?
It's just nonsense.
Yeah.
And I was mostly enamored with the idea of a bass player being not only the front man but the lead instrument in the band. You know what I mean?
So were you a Ned's Atomic Dustbin fan? 2 bass players, bro. One of them's gonna be lead. Who's lead bass in that group?
Who's lead bass?
I have issues with
rhythm.
I have issues with 2 bass players too.
Yeah.
Although we did used to kick around the idea of getting all the bass players we know and recording an all bass version of Big Bottom with a dozen bass players playing different, like writing different parts for it to fill it in. But one of those projects that's like, oh, hilarious, let's do it, and then no one ever does anything.
Let's get 50 bass players together.
What do you want to do? Scare away all the chicks in a
1,000-mile radius.
I just want to give everybody in my neighborhood explosive diarrhea. Thank you.
Had 100 brown notes at once. So when maybe we talked about this last time, but no one will know. When we were listening to Pop's old records in the episode the week before, it's like, fuck, man, bass players were cool as shit in the 70s and probably, did really well and weren't maligned at all. Larry Graham was fronting bands and Jaco Pastorius was ripping shit up but what happened?
The 80s.
The 80s happened.
The 80s, yeah. So I think, the focus became more an image, obviously, with the 80s. And then, I don't know, like, even think of it like Michael Anthony from, Van Halen.
Oh, God. We have ranted about Michael.
But the thing is, like, he's a fucking amazing, like, backup vocalist. He's, like, those high fucking backups and stuff. Like, he's a great musician, I'm sure. But, like, that music, like, Eddie's the fucking show. So... Here we go. Like, you got to make room because there's a million going on. So,
well, and that was the problem is there just weren't that many real bass players around, and they weren't playing rock. Most of them were playing funk and R&B. So your bass player in your typical rock band from whatever 1982 on was the guitar player who wasn't as good as the other guitar player who was like, all right, you're playing bass then.
Yeah.
And they didn't know. They just knew, okay, I'll just play the root. That makes sense. They don't know the like. Not even theory, but just the practice of working with the drummer to make a rhythm section. They just
I think also like consumer grade instruments and stuff became like a big thing in the 70s and 80s. So now all of a sudden, like, you have an abundance of instruments available to the public and everybody wants to be in a band and not everybody's going to be the best musician, and it's just like sometimes, musicians that aren't that great end up in bands that are fucking phenomenal. And I'm not knocking that. Like, that's kind of the beauty of it.
Yeah, there's a role for that kind of bass playing in music. It's not typically what I gravitate to, but it works. Well, when we had Sasha on, we asked him what percentages of the instruments that you sell are guitars versus basses, and he's like, shit, I don't know. maybe 20% basses or something like that.
Mhm.
When he took his daughter to Guitar Center to buy a bass, it was like, look, there's 400 guitars, and then there's 8 basses.
Yeah.
Right.
Go crazy.
Which one would you like?
Yeah.
Right.
Your decision should be much easier.
Yeah.
Well, it's called Guitar Center, not Bass Center.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
There used
type of
there,
guitar.
there used to be a like Guitar Center sized all bass store in LA. I remember going
I'm
there
sure.
once
Really?
when I
Yeah.
lived there. Yeah, and there was one in Seattle too. That was
Wow.
killer, but they're both gone now. So
Do they call it Base Station?
no, I forget what they were called. Bass Center and the Bass Place, maybe something like that.
Ooh,
Seattle
Bass
people, you know,
Place. Bass Place. I
Seattle
like
people
that.
know that store was awesome, and that's what you need because like the selection of basses and what people play in rock is much less homogenized for bass. Like guitar, it's like there's like 3 or 4 models that most people seem to play.
Mm-hmm.
But when you really get into playing bass, there's a lot of smaller builders
Yeah.
and a lot of like exotic and interesting instruments that people get into, and you're just not going to carry all of those at Guitar Center. So you're
Right.
going to have to go to specialty shops or now buy stuff online,
Yeah.
which is a little bit scary.
Yeah, but
like-
I mean, with things like reverb, at least it's not like eBay back in the day. Like, that's what I got my fucking Les Paul from a pawn shop in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Wow.
Off
On
of
eBay?
eBay, which like I was just like, well, it's a 76. It's it's in pretty good condition. It's the color that I like. I'm just gonna go for it. It
Just
was like
roll
it was,
the dice.
It was kind of at the time I think it was like just over $2,000. So that was pretty dirt cheap for Norland era Les Paul at the time, and it was fine. Like I needed to refret it, and somebody had done some weird fucking coil splits and weird shit in the electronics, so it has like 3 extra switches in it, but I pulled all that. I left the switches in, but I pulled all that shit out because it just got in the way and it was
Yeah.
shorting and being weird. But you could tell like whoever did it in like Radio Shack parts from 1982. You know what I mean? like
No,
oh, this
not
is
the
weird. This is not the way anybody would do this now.
Yeah, any professional. Yeah, mail ordering stringed instruments is a bit scary.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can imagine.
Well, and this is funny when Jay's daughter fell in love with, no joke, the hot pink. Is it Dean?
I think it was a Dean.
Dean. They make a neon green and hot pink bass with like a Charvel Jackson style head.
The pointy
and
head. yeah.
colored. The full fretboard is colored with black inlays, so the fretboard's
wow.
pink and the inlays. I mean, it is like
That's kind of
a
awesome.
6th grader's dream bass.
Oh yeah.
So are you
And-
going to borrow that for a show?
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh, yeah.
I'll play it. But it's like I feel for people who don't know what they're doing because it's whatever $200 or $300, and it's coming in the mail, and they don't do a setup on it. So like you just got to cross your fingers and hope that whoever's in the plant doing the first setup knows what they're doing because you're going to spend another $100 or $150 if it's unplayable just to make it playable, like half the cost of the instrument.
Yeah.
So, and that happens to people left and right, and that's why they don't do setups at Guitar Center. They just go like, oh, well, bring it in. We'll just set it for you, $110.
Yeah.
Dang.
And you're that far in already. You've committed. You bought a little amp and a little bass. Mostly people at that level don't know their setup's bad, so they just play it and they wonder why it feels like shit. But just carry on. I
know I'm getting into that any guitar, any instrument I buy, because I use such weird tunings that the second I go to the tuning that I use, typically it's like half baritone or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay, this thing's fucked. Like this is not holding tune, but intonation's all messed up, and so I've gotten good with Gibsons. I'm a lot better than I am with my Stratocaster because it's like that's new and I haven't really wrapped my head around all of that stuff yet. But it's one of those things that's like I kind of know that going into it. It's like, okay, it's probably going to be another month and a half before this thing is playable for me,
ready to go.
Yeah, but it's like I'll do it myself and I'll just take my time and
Speaking of.
Dang.
Yes.
This is a great segue to our segment Talking Tunings, which is JD.
This is my favorite.
JD's favorite. So what are your favorite tunings?
So going from low to high, because that's the way my brain works. Low E string I tune to what is it? I do A sharp, D sharp, C sharp, A sharp, C sharp, and then I can't remember what the fucking I don't know. Hold on. Let me think this out. I actually have to chart it out in my brain. So
well, do you guys play in the same tunings all the time when you play in a band with two guitars, or do you guys transpose and do weird shit?
So MG&R, in MG&R we're pretty much in D standard and we tune to drop C, but then like the high E string we also drop down to C.
Oh, interesting.
With Lowcaster, I'm basically tuning to B for the two like the low E string and the A string. Low E string is basically B, but then I tune it half a step.
Yeah, that's
flat.
right. That's like
and then
my bass.
The A string is tuned to E, but then I flat that, so that's whatever D sharp, and then to regular D, regular G, regular B, and then the E string I tune a whole step down.
Oh wow,
yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
What's your take on that that tuning?
Was that English?
Yeah, that was English.
Okay.
That was.
I love that. I mean, I bet that sounds great.
It makes really great songs.
It makes really good music.
No, it's just like the two low strings. You can kind of do baritone sounding shit, and then like the high strings, you kind of have like a huge birth of, different octaves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
I like the A C D A C niner.
C sharp nine.
Niner.
Just niner. Okay.
Just niner.
Cool. You're not a dad fad guy.
Yeah.
Dad fad. Dad gad.
Dad gad.
Carl does some dad gad. He'll throw that in occasionally. Mm-hmm. There's good uses for it. I don't know. I don't really care.
Funny, like I write songs in different tunings, and then like I'll decide like, oh, I kind of like this new tuning that I kind of came up with, and then I will relearn old songs in the new tuning.
Oh, what a pain in the ass.
Well, it's a pain in the ass, but the thing is, it's like if you're playing live, it saves you so much fucking time, like switching tunings. That's one of the things. Like Lowcaster, we had 3 different tunings at one point. And it's like, fuck this. Like I'm just gonna stick with this one. Like I just use 2 tunings rather than like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, or I'll just switch guitars. I'll be like, okay, you're my fucking drop D, and you're my fucking weird baritone, and that's it.
Yeah, and that's essentially what I do, and I don't have to really worry about open strings because I'm not playing chords. So I just play in one tuning, and then I just transpose everything that. Yeah,
I have a P bass that I use on a lot of the new Lowcaster recordings, and it's basically just B standard. I have flats on there. Thing sounds fucking killer.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I got some Avedesian pickups I put in there. I had them like wire them extra hot, so it's like it almost bucks a little bit. Like it has like this weird compression thing that it makes the bass fucking growl like crazy. It sounds super good.
Alex built my pickups too.
Yeah,
for the JML, and he fucking nailed it.
Yeah, knocked it out of the park.
Avedesian pickups. If you need like custom pickups from a guy who's like really focused on heavy music and putting together, and he'll do whatever. Like he copied it's a humbucking J, 2 humbucking J pickups that you can play split coil, like, so it's almost like there's 4, but there's only 2 pickups, and it was so we talked about signature instruments last time around. They are the pickups for the Roscoe Beck signature jazz Bill Lawrence, who's one of the greatest pickup builders of all time over at Fender, designed them. One of his last best designs, specifically because it's really hard to get the same like attack and volume on the low B as you get on everything else, and they're specifically designed to compensate for that.
And it's not active, correct?
No, they're passive.
Wow, awesome.
Right,
that's great.
We went from.
I relate. Like when I was in bands, like sometimes I would sing high, sometimes I would sing low, and sometimes I would have a mic that I used for singing high and a mic for singing low.
Do you have like a case?
Like add a distortion
with, like,
pedal.
a few mics?
Like it was insane. So I get it. I totally get it.
Oh, all right.
One day I will. One day all that shit might make sense.
You keep threatening to learn how to play bass.
I'm going to. As soon as Addie gets her bass.
As soon as the pink bass shows up.
I'm going to practice during the day. She can practice at night.
It's going to be awesome.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I bet. We can start a 2-bass band. You play lead.
Jeff's Atomic Dustbin.
Yeah. We'll be a Ned's Atomic Dustbin tribute band.
That'd be the best.
No, it wouldn't.
I can't even think of
What's the hit song? I know there was at
there
least
that,
one.
That
Kill Your Television, and then there was the one
yeah.
the So I Married an Ex Murderer. That was Saturday night. They did a
That's
cover.
right,
That was
that's
what got
right.
them really big.
Oh,
But Kill Your Television. That was Godfather. Is that the
wasn't
name of
that?
the record?
Were they the? There's no other way. Is that the song? There's
No
no,
other
other
way.
way.
There's
There's
no-
no other way.
Wait, isn't that
Is that
Blur?
them?
That's
I think
Blur.
Was that Blur?
I think
Oh,
it's
that's
Blur.
Blur.
I think
oh,
that's
shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Someone
I
just
do remember Godfather.
someone just chortled when you started singing that thing. That's fucking Blur, dude.
Blur. Oh, okay.
Now I just want to watch So I Married an Axe Murderer. I used to know that movie almost line by line.
Did that take place in San
That's such a good
Francisco?
movie.
Yes.
Okay. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I think I used to host it at the house that was shot in.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, she worked at the butcher shop. Not a no
Oh,
no red flags there.
Yeah.
Does the slam poetry. And the dad called the one son Heed because his head was so big.
Yes.
No.
And he like goes down a conspiracy rabbit hole about Colonel Sanders and the chicken
Oh,
that
Jesus
was like
Christ.
oh, that movie was ahead of its time.
Oh
Uh-huh.
man.
It's too bad he had to go out on like the Love Guru or whatever. That was when he just
Oh, my
started.
God.
That's when he just started doing cameos in other people's
Oh.
movies.
Yeah. He kind of became like a host for movies that he was in, but he wasn't featured in them anymore.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to listen to
Ned's Atomic
Godfather.
Dustbin?
I had that album.
It's
I don't-
dude,
I
it
just-
doesn't
I don't
it doesn't
remember it
hold up.
at
It
all.
doesn't
No.
hold up.
No?
I have it too, and I
Yeah.
put it on every once in a blue moon because I remember really liking it as a teenager, just being like, yeah. But it's like, if you're not fucking 16 years old and piss and vinegar, then
Yeah.
it's not going to speak to you the same way.
Yeah. I'm not sure I even clocked that was a band with two bass players.
I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
that was like,
They're listed as
and
shoegaze.
they wore kilts.
Whoa.
Oh, they're listed as shoegaze?
They're listed as and Grebo. What the fuck is Grebo?
Ooh.
That's two bass player bands.
Is that?
I don't know.
That's what two bass players are called. Grebo. Well, let's see if there's.
So I would have tolerated
Huh.
the Melvins tour they just recently did where they had Pincus and Stephen McDonald playing bass. Sure.
Mhm.
I'll check that out.
Yeah.
But in general, not necessary.
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't need two bass players that are like pretty much doing the same thing. Like it's
Yeah.
you just get two bass amps. You
And
know, if
I've-
that's what you
I've-
want.
Ranted hard already about the YouTube bass playing gurus that do all the
Yeah.
like super transparent two-hand tapping.
Mhm.
Watch me play whatever Britney Spears song, but as the most complicated bass song you've ever heard.
Mhm.
It's just like, God, it sounds so dumb.
Right.
It just sounds dumb. I sent him links because I was like, this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about how terrible. Like, I'm not even a fan of bass solos in general. It got to be like Geddy Lee YYZ. That's a bass solo. Totally fine. It's like 2 bars. It's fucking smooth as hell. It sounds great.
Right.
But man, the videos of Billy Sheehan and even I sent him a link to Michael Anthony playing that fucking Jack Daniels bass and he doesn't even really play. He just like makes noise and runs around and drinks.
It sings really well.
So yeah, you fucking what was that? Addicted to that rush? Is that Mr. Big?
That's Mr. Big. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Billy Sheehan.
Yeah. He's
We've
a
talked-
shredder. He's a shredder, but that probably shouldn't be on a bass.
We talked about that before, but he had that. That's a custom short. It used to be a signature model Fender, custom short scale bass, and then they scooped all the wood out of the frets on the high frets so that because all he does is tap, and so it makes the tapping work better.
Weird.
It's just like, fucking, who is this for?
Right.
Huh.
Just
What?
that one guy.
Just people who are watching Beaver Felton instructional videos and drooling over Billy Sheehan.
Right.
Probably. People that want to do it themselves on YouTube.
Yeah. Well,
And never
YouTube
play in a band.
YouTube didn't exist yet. Now I'd kind of like to have one of those as like a, I don't know, just like an archival piece of like, look at how wrong we went. Get like the what was it? The Kubicki X Factor. That was one of the very first headless basses after, of course, a Steinberger, which I'm gonna have in my collection someday. Can't figure out how I'm gonna hang it on the wall, but I guess that's a problem for another day.
Just stick a nail through the fucking thing.
But see, I was such a huge Rush fan, and it was like when Geddy showed up and he's playing a Steinberger, I was so conflicted. I didn't know
yeah.
it's like it's. Do you know what a Steinberger is?
Nope.
So it has no headstock and no tuning pegs. It's all down here, and the bass is like this long and is like a little trapezoid.
Yeah, it's like the
It's just
size
like
of a fucking shoebox. It's
yeah, it's like
literally
this-
like a
Yeah,
shoebox.
I've seen those.
Oh God.
I had
that
a
sounds
guitar
sweet.
teacher that had that's what he was using, and like the second I walked in for my first lesson, I knew I was in trouble because I knew he was just gonna be like one of those super theory people that like he's gonna have me play a stupid rhythm thing while he just rips solos and makes himself feel better, and that's exactly what it was.
Oh really?
Yeah.
He had a Steinberger guitar.
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah. And he was just like, okay, here's a C chord, here's a G chord, here's an E minor. And
All right.
he's like, just play that. And I was like, okay. And then he's just like, like, okay,
I'm not sure this is a lesson.
this isn't a lesson. It's not a lesson. Yeah.
No, you find like your friend down the street and do that. You don't pay for that.
Dude, my closest friend that also played guitar he lived about 2 miles away from my mom's house. I remember fucking carrying my PV Bandit 112 for 2 miles over to his house, so we'd each have our own amplifier.
So you could
Play out.
jam.
My arms were just fucking gelatin by the time I got there. I was like, ugh. I think I just
Yeah.
left it at his house for like a month because I didn't want to fucking carry it back home.
That thing's probably worth $5,000 right now.
I think my dad has. I'm gonna find out. My dad might still have that amp.
Oh really?
I'm gonna find out
Yeah.
tomorrow, maybe. Yeah, because I'm
That's-
flying back there.
Yes.
Are you're getting you're practicing your accent?
Yeah. Well, it's like I've also been, because of getting ready to go visit. So I've been talking to my mom and talking to my dad, and their
Yeah.
accents are there. So it's
And it
like
just
They
comes back.
rub off.
the more that like I'm around it, the more it comes back for sure.
Would that be what's the term? Code switching?
Yeah.
To like show up in Boston and all of a sudden be all Boston and then come back to San Francisco. And does it come out when you're drunk?
Yes.
Does the accent? Yeah, that seems
Not-
to be.
Not a ton, but like things slip a lot more. It's like I'm
Yeah.
not making an effort to not have an accent.
Not actively,
Yeah.
but some part of your brain is working against some old instincts that you have.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like,
And there are definitely words that I say that no matter what, they're gonna have an accent.
I pick it up like very occasionally.
Yeah, and people
then
people get like, I think because I had to fake not having an accent for a while, that I think I learned to speak oddly or strangely, because people are like, "Are you from Canada?" And I'm like, "No, like
No.
I'm from Boston," but like they're like, "Oh, like the way you said that's Canadian." It's like I probably just talk fucked up,
Yeah.
because I had to like reteach myself how to talk. Mostly because the fucking movie Good Will Hunting came out,
Oh yeah.
and people started making fun of me, like, you actually talk like that. And I was just like, and this is in Boston. People were making fun of me because most of the people in Boston are,
Oh.
at the
From-
time I was in my 20s, whatever. Most of them are like college kids from New Jersey. There's
Yeah.
so many kids from New Jersey in Boston.
So what town did you grow up in? I pulled up a Boston map because I was curious.
Right next to Brockton, there's a little
Okay.
town called Abington. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, my buddy Kevin lived in Brockton.
Nice.
What?
I was
Yeah.
hoping you lived in Nahant like Jason Mantzoukas, but that's North Shore.
North Shore.
My friend that's lived there forever now just moved out of the burbs and bought a boat and moved to Swampskit.
Swampskit. Nice. I have a couple friends from Swampskit.
Yeah. He loves it.
Yeah.
Really great place names in Boston.
Swampskit.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I also love when you head north and you get into Oregon and Washington, and places kept like the traditional original American names, the Aboriginal names.
Yeah.
And there's so many crazy place names in Washington where you're just like, how the fuck is that the name of a city? But it is, and I mean it's impressive because we whitewashed every other part of the country, but we went ahead and left that part alone for some reason. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
Yeah. There's a decent amount of I mean, a lot of the places in Massachusetts have their native names, or like some derivative of a native name, Swampskit and
Yeah.
Narragansett and all that. Down the Cape you see it a lot.
History.
Yes,
Oh,
indeed.
yeah.
Maps.
Yeah.
Maps.
Yeah. I think you're thinking of like Snohomish and Squamish.
Yeah, Squamish
Yeah.
and Snohomish.
Yeah. All of those northwestern.
There's one that
Native
had
Americans.
there's one that had a really difficult name that for some reason I always mispronounce it. I can't remember. It's like right when you leave the airport, like SeaTac. It's just outside of Tacoma. I can't remember the name of the town though, but it's It's basically if you say it wrong, like if you swap out one letter, it's a totally different word. But
Oh, really?
yeah, it's like an English word, but then like if you put that letter back in, then it's totally like the Native American word.
We'll
And
have to look.
I used to say it wrong all the time, and it used to bum some of my friends out.
Sorry,
I'm
man.
ignorant.
I don't know.
Sorry, bro.
Well, then you go to like Vancouver Island on the west coast, and the town names are unpronounceable.
Yeah.
Ukulele, like I just don't even have like the vocal motions to even make the right noises for those towns.
Yeah, I think that stuff is awesome though, because it's like I don't know, I just like seeing Whitey struggle, you know.
Oh yeah,
completely.
Well, and like the history, at least in like Northern California and Washington and Oregon, the native history is so different because these were tribes that lived in places of plenty. And so there was like no war. Everybody worked together. There was really sophisticated trading. People, they had entertainment, you know, like the towns had like stages and performance halls and like the vision that mostly got painted for us was, you know, the savage and or the noble savage, but still somebody out on a dusty plain somewhere just like fucking struggling to survive. And they're over here just going like, I don't know what these guys are doing, but we got oysters for days.
Right.
Life's good. Like my kids are in school. I have more than I need. So it's funny.
And then we came.
Yeah.
and then we came
along.
Whitey ruins everything, man.
Yeah. Well, and it just tells you like, even in what we pretend like is a monoculture, but definitely wasn't, like where you happen to have been born makes a big difference. And that is completely arbitrary. You know what I mean? Like you just happen to be born in a sweet ass tribe on the Redwood Coast and life was great. And some other kids born in, you know, in the South or in the plains and is just like living hell every day, scratching to survive and fighting other tribes because there's no resources.
Right.
All right.
Oh, man.
Heady shit. Let's listen to music.
Should we?
Kabam! Yeah.
We did that last time.
Yeah, we did, but no one heard it. That's the other thing is I want to make sure everybody hears all those bands.
Maybe we should just listen to Godfather and comment on it.
No.
No.
Okay, so think of something from that same period that aged as poorly, that is as awful, that was as popular at the time. Can you think?
Jesus Jones.
Yeah.
That's bad.
EMF.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
That's unbelievable.
English motherfucker.
I had that single on tape.
Oh yeah.
Because we talk about Hum all the time, who was kind of the reverse of that, which was like, fuck, man.
Right, they got bigger like after they broke up, essentially.
Yeah, not only were they awesome then, they're like fucking way more awesome now. And in retrospect, they were more awesome than we even realized at the time.
Did you guys
did
you listen to the new Hum record?
It's so fucking good.
A million times.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I did. To me, it just sounded like Torch. You know what I mean? It's like they matured into the type of music that was kind of, you know, birthed from that, essentially, you know.
I thought it was a little less heavy.
Yeah.
It was more shoegazy than Torch.
Well, I guess like the pop.
But yeah, if it was like
stuff.
If Torch was a shoegaze band, then that would be the new Hum record.
Yeah.
I love the new Hum record. I thought it was so good.
In truth, those guys are probably contemporaries. Steve's not a young guy.
Right.
He's
he's
of that time because he was a kid in Floor at that point, and Torch kind of evolved out of that.
Is Hum also from Florida? Where the hell?
No, they're from the Midwest. They're from the Midwest somewhere.
Yeah, I think so.
And the drummer, after all this happened, their drummer passed away last year.
Yeah.
Oh,
so they like had this resurgence
this year.
Or this year,
it wasn't that long ago.
We had a guest on Sam Riggins from Cosmic Eye Brewing. Is a brewery in Nebraska, but he's a music nut and really well connected and makes beers for bands and stuff. And he was really good friends with the drummer from Hum. It was such a bummer. I mean, can you imagine going dormant? I mean, I think they played festivals and stuff. They weren't putting out new music, but they were doing that like 90s revival circuit to make a living, which is
toured with Spotlights toured with them.
Yeah, that's right.
And they were like so broken up because they grew so close to him because he was such a good dude.
But to just get like a year during during a pandemic of like a resurgence, and then
yeah, I think
What a bummer.
So crazy.
That sucks.
Yeah, I love Torch, and I love the newer Torch. To me, is like he's getting deeper into kind of a sound that would make sense if it wasn't heavy at all, as kind of a new wave revival.
Yeah.
But then you just layer in all these heavy guitars, and it's so cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the way he builds melodic structures it's very unique to him, and he just has that knack for it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, his vocal melodies are always on point, and
the
way he sings like over the weird shit that he's playing is always like, yeah.
He's been bartending at the SF Eagle for a while. Oh, not now, because they played on the Coheed and Cambria cruise, I think.
Cruise,
so
yeah. I
he
saw
was
that.
in Florida. But have you seen him while he's been in San
I've bumped
Francisco?
into Steve, yeah, a few times. Like he's lived here a few times over the past 10 years. Like he lives here, then he went to LA, and then I think he went down to Florida, and then he moved back to LA, and then I think he's here now, and
he's got a place in Oregon.
Yeah,
he's got a place
Oregon.
in like coastal Oregon.
Jeez.
Okay.
What a world traveler.
World traveler.
He's got
Global
places
citizen
around the world.
All right, so who are we listening to?
This is a band called Restless Spirit from New York. Oh, and Hum is from Illinois.
I hope this is spooky. I really feel
looks
like
it's going to be spooky.
I really feel like listening to spooky music right now.
The album's not out yet, so this is one of the singles that they've released so far, and it comes out on December 10th. It looks like. Yeah, I don't know anything about them, so let's listen to their music.
Blood of the Old Gods.
That's pretty cool.
Wearing influences on their sleeve. Pretty heavy.
Oh yeah, you can hear a lot of influences on there.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I like it.
I like everything Matt Pike ever did.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do some of all of it. Did you ever wish that Sleep and High on Fire were one band? Kinda. Oh, let's fucking do it. I'm surprised that's not more common than it is, because we've heard a lot of. We're like, oh, these guys love Sleep, and these guys love High on Fire, but not a lot of like back and forth.
They love them both.
Yeah.
They're doing both.
What do you think?
I think they had a bit of like a big business kind of thing going too.
Oh.
Just like the kind of like drums kind of moving around the whole time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. So wow, they got Frazetta art. Is it like not expensive to license Frank Frazetta's art? Seems like that would be expensive.
You think so?
It's from 1981,
but maybe
so
not.
It's not like
it's some of the newer stuff.
I don't know. It's rad. I would love to have an album of any kind with Frank Frazetta art on it.
Oh, for real.
Ooh, let's check out their merch.
Do it. No. Yeah, that's cool. I want to hear. So this song is 7.5 minutes long. So why don't we play "Call Your Shot"?
Or scoot into it farther. Either way, let's listen to some more.
Okay, I'm gonna scoot in. Here we go, and bam.
Yeah, I like the chorus singing even better.
Yeah, it kind of gave it a different vibe.
It did, and it sounded like there was like an acoustic or a clean electric tracked in with the heavy guitars in that chorus part, you could hear like a clean ringing guitar in the back. It sounded cool. Again, kind of like percussive in a way that you don't get when you have all that distortion and shit running.
Yeah.
Did it sound like a guitar, but it was a tambourine?
It
Or sound like a tambourine, but it was a guitar?
sounded like an acoustic guitar with a pickup in it.
He's like, dude, it's a harmonica.
No, that almost sounded like Spirit Adrift, like when the chorusy vocals came in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked it.
They have a lot of music too.
I'll definitely listen to more and check this out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
cool.
there's 7 releases on here. I don't know how many
7?
how many of them are like full
There's probably a lot of
albums and how many are EPs.
EPs, yeah.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to check it out, Restless Spirit, the new album comes out December 10th.
I love Nosferatu.
I love Nosferatu.
Okay, so what was that comic book I grabbed from that shop in San Francisco? Somebody basically took stills from Nosferatu movies, the movie, and then put captions in to make it look like he was doing something nice. Like there's one part where he's like touching in a really creepy way, and it's like, I love to give back rubs. Oh, it was so funny.
That was a really rad comic shop.
If you live in San Francisco, I know you do, but if you're listening and you do, we found a comic shop. It was in Susie's neighborhood, like pretty close to her house.
Yeah,
Oh, it's right on Valencia there.
Right on Valencia.
Yeah.
It was all
It's
all
right. It's like 2 doors up from Ritual, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's super cool.
And that, right when you walked in, there was a Skinner art book, and I talked to the owner a little bit, and he said Skinner's definitely a friend of the shop.
Yeah.
Which absolutely made sense because there was, only recognizable comics if you're into comics and know some of the more popular indies.
Mm-hmm.
But there was nothing that most people would even recognize as a comic that ever existed, and a lot of really weird off-the-wall art and stuff. We spent a little time in there.
And
but
a lot of sexy stuff.
A lot of sexy stuff.
Oh, buddy.
A lot of queer stuff in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I bought my daughter,
super good.
I bought my college-age daughter 2 comic books that I sent for her birthday. One was like, I like you better when you don't have venereal diseases or something like that. And then the other one was like a comic book about consent.
Wow, comics you don't want to get from Dad.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Oh, she cracked up.
Yeah.
No, she was fine. She was fine with it.
All right, next band.
Oh yes, what do we got?
So the band is called Black Tarpoon.
Ooh, Black Tar.
Yeah.
Ooh, we got like multiple layers of.
So here's what we're gonna do first. Before actually listening, we're gonna just what are we gonna hear based on the band? So Jesse James is singing. Tasha the Dawn is playing washboard.
No way.
Oatmeal Reed
Oatmeal
sings
Reed.
and plays bass.
Okay.
It looks like. And then we've got Billy Moe, Chi Chi Picante, and Scooby Davidson. These are amazing.
I'm okay, so I'm gonna say this. No offense, Black Tarpoon, if this isn't you, but I feel like this is one of those bands that I would want to vet.
Yeah.
dig into their history a little bit and see if there's anything potentially problematic before I endorse or play it.
Beware all you sinners. Okay, so I'm just gonna play whatever song they put up here first.
We'll do the research afterwards
We'll
and
do
cut
the
this
Moth
out.
song. Yeah, we can cut it out if we need to. We're not gonna
No offense,
need
guys.
to. All right.
I see phenomenons glow out there in the distance. I must go there, I must know where it came from. I seek it, it mocks me out there shining brightly. I must see it through, I must go to the unknown. I am gone, 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 gone like your memories fading as time passes by. I am gone, 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 gone like my freedom is luring me farther away. I am gone.
Yeah, this is like that like murder folk or whatever.
Murder folk.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely.
It's never been my thing, but I'm glad it exists. I totally appreciate it. We have a couple bands that in San Jose that are pretty popular that do this.
I love some of this stuff.
Yeah.
I think this is these are the types of bands that are just fucking great to see live.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
they're like
their
one of
shows
those.
are so much fun.
One of those things. Like I think last time I was up in Sonoma. Or is it Sonora? Which one's up in the mountains?
Sonora.
Sonora. Yeah.
Sonoma's wine.
Wine.
Sonora's
Sonora. Last time I was
yeah.
up in Sonora, I think I went to some dive bar and there was a band that sounded just like that. Just
Of course.
Yeah.
they were
of
just
course
like
there
the
was.
house band there, and it's like, oh yeah, and they were fucking ripping the whole
Yeah.
time,
I have to give them props for this amazing album cover and album title, Probable Cause.
Oh,
Cause.
And it's like ravens, but one's in a suit with a top hat. Oh man. Yeah, that's a party band. I'm doing shots like 4 minutes into the set.
Yeah, exactly.
What song was that? Was that off of this record?
That was off of that's off of their. I think it's a new record. I think it just came out. Yeah, it came out on Christmas. Fuck, it came out on Halloween. That was Moth Song.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, did I lose?
Do you want to try another one?
No. So I'm
You're
guessing.
looking at the names.
No, I'm
Pause.
guessing "Down in the Willow Garden" is like a ballady thing.
Yeah,
I'd be curious to hear
Okay.
them like chilled out,
let's see what it sounds like.
or like a spooky murder ballad.
Down in the willow garden, where me and my love did meet. There we sat a curtain, my love fell off to sleep. Down a bottle of brandy wine, my love she did not know.
How many different voices? Was that 3?
I don't
yeah,
know.
it was like 3 or 4.
It was like 3 or 4. Yeah,
So
that was interesting.
Oatmeal Reed does the dirty vocals.
Is he the bass in the back?
I don't know.
Well, he's probably not actual bass, but
Oatmeal Reed.
I like Oatmeal Reed.
All right, we got more.
We do have more.
Let's do it. Let's just
All right.
roll.
I think the other band that I was trying to think of that I actually really loved and got into was Builders and the Butchers. They were fucking amazing, and they were one of those that like you'd show up and they got the audience involved, and sometimes they'd like pass out instruments and people could play along, and
So
it was so much fun.
no offense to them, but Builders and the Butchers is like every other storefront in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
And it's a restaurant, an apothecary, a butcher shop / hardware supply.
/ hardware supply. Okay, I think we're gonna get into something a little crazy now.
Okay.
So this is Rimfrost
Oh,
from Sweden.
I was gonna say if they're not from that peninsula or right near it, I'm gonna
We're
be.
gonna have a lot to say about this one before we listen.
Especially since sneak preview. One of the bands we listened to was some really really raw like old school death metal that
Yeah.
was and black metal that was really cool.
Well, what was the band that you brought up last week?
It
was like
the Pale
Yeah,
Swordsman.
That's
the
right.
Pale Swordsman.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we listened to that, and
Yeah.
fuck, that actually kind of. And usually that stuff doesn't get me, but I was kind of like entranced by that.
Yeah, it's spooky yet it's definitely black metal, and it's
Mhm.
also like super like melancholic.
Yeah,
Like you said, it sounds like a dude in a cabin in like Ukraine or wherever the hell
Yeah.
he's from.
yeah, which
exactly.
is exactly
Just
what
by
it was.
himself, fucking lamenting life.
I wonder if they have different.
That's pretty.
Interesting.
That's pretty dope art.
Do they have other albums? Because that's not the one we're gonna listen to.
Oh no,
There was two different Rimfrost. This is Rimfrost
Oh.
1 on Bandcamp.
It's funny.
and
So
there's
yeah,
another
there must.
one.
This is just Rimfrost official.
Oh, they must have gotten signed. That's why.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, funny that the other Rimfrost could be.
it's still them.
I think it's still them. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
like
definitely still
their
them.
self-released record or whatever.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's one of the frustrating things technology-wise. Bandcamp, if anyone ever listens, please make it easier to like have one page for your band, even if your band has
Even if
releases
you're on
on
a label.
self-released and label
Mhm.
released and whatever, so that it can all be. You know this from being on Ripple, right?
Yeah.
Is
yeah.
your
well, I mean, Ripple they're judicious. They let us keep our Bandcamp and they let us host our own music on there, but they also have our music on their site.
so there's a duplicate, but they let you keep digital even.
Yeah, so they let us keep digital off our own Bandcamp, but if basically if they're putting the effort into directing traffic towards their Bandcamp page, then they're going to keep that money,
Yeah.
or at least until we recoup or whatever. And then if we get the traffic hits or whatever on our Bandcamp, like lowcaster.bandcamp.com or whatever, then we keep, whatever we make off of it.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. For a while there, maybe it's different for every band, but like once you sign, then your digital all moved over to the Ripple.
I mean,
to the
it's like
Ripple
we're not
side.
talking like mega dollars. It's
No.
just fair. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
if we're putting the effort into like really pushing ourselves,
Yeah.
Or like get ourselves in other people's ears, then we should,
So if you're
Make
watching
money.
the video, you understand why I'm so curious about what we are about to hear.
I'm so curious.
Because the cover of whatever we're about to listen to is like the cover of a fake horror movie, but with their faces like photoshopped
And they're
in.
like the actors.
yeah. Or the
Ooh,
are the guys from that other band we just listened to.
Yeah.
All of a sudden
Oh,
it got a little
Please.
little Texas in
So
here.
we've got Hraven on guitars and vocals, Kratos on bass, and Thralv on drums.
Mm.
Engineered by Thrall.
Thralv, also engineering Thralv. Good job. I always like
we
when
get a guest vocalist on this one.
I always like when a drummer is an engineer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think drums are the hardest thing to engineer. So it seems like.
Ooh, I guess we'll see how it sounds then.
All right,
Oh man. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's do some Rib Frost.
Okay, pause it. So, is this a thing that has existed before? Like, let's write up some straight up like 80s metal, but
Yeah,
then
no, so-
sing.
It's a new thing that's happening. Like I note so many bands like Jay Bennett from MG&R, his band Persecutors like this. It's like party metal, but it's party black metal. You know,
Oh
what I mean?
my
It's like, it's black metal, but we're gonna fucking go out with the bros and drink tons of beers and fucking rage.
I'm here for it.
It's, everybody's invited.
If Andrew WK joined a black metal band, this
Pretty
is what
much.
happens.
Pretty much. I mean, we it's the culmination of all of those things that have come before us. It is black metal. It is Andrew WK.
Yeah.
You know, grunge,
That's-
party
like,
grunge, whatever.
Sometimes you just want to put on your corpse paint and pound some brews.
I like that one dude has the corpse paint on his arms. Like,
Yeah.
like, oh shit, I still have some on my hand. Like, just smear it on your arms, dude.
Just
It'll look
smear it
like
on
you
your
have
arms.
tattoos.
It's
Like
supposed
nobody
to
else
look-
has that.
He just came up out of the dirt.
Oh,
His
man.
hands are still dusty.
Ah! Okay, we got to keep listening to this.
I enjoyed the shit out of that.
Okay.
That's yeah.
So this is definitely a departure for them.
Is it? You think?
Well, when I'm looking at the other albums and song titles, and they're at the mighty halls they'll walk, a frozen world unknown, like it's much more what you would expect. So if this is like something they did for fun or an experiment or a new direction,
I'd be curious to know.
it's awesome.
Yeah. Is this when did this come out?
It just
This
came
is this
out
year?
Halloween.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe it's like their slasher film soundtrack. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Okay,
awesome. It's pretty
should
rocking.
we-
It's not, yeah, but it sounds like the other stuff is more like fantasy metal influenced black metal
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
This is awesome. Killer Instinct.
Oh, I want to look at their tags. We don't do this enough. Do they have any fun tags?
Thralls.
Looks like they took a break for a while too.
They
Alright.
have their names are tags.
Yeah.
Should I be doing that? Am I missing the boat on that one?
Yeah.
So when you create
Mark.
you can create any tag you want, and then it just does whatever. So it's a good way to you can get together with all your friends' bands and make sure you all add in one goofy tag, and then all of your music will come up. We got to do that actually.
Ooh, that's smart.
So one of their tags was monsters. So let's listen to. So here.
Well,
Here
MG&R had a hashtag on Instagram, the Marc Brandi Ruins Everything tour.
When was that?
It was like 4 years ago or so.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know why I get picked on in that band. A little
Yeah.
bit.
All right. So any of these other albums tagged monsters?
What's that? Oh.
Son of Sam, we actually have listened to
We
already.
have listened to Son of Sam. Yes. Interesting. Andrew Lyles, Miraculous Mechanical Monster.
Experimental. The first Heart Attack was the
Oh,
best.
boy.
It's
Oh,
a
boy.
24-minute long track.
Oh boy.
Settle in, everybody.
It's not gonna work. Hold on. I have to do it.
Oh yeah, we had this
Remember?
problem the last time. Yeah, we did this the last time, guys.
We
We
did this
did.
last time too.
Fucking repeat.
There was silence. You're making fun of me. I'm listening to it, getting into it.
I can't even find that one.
It's there. Just type in hashtag monster.
Monster.
Holy shit, seriously. Oh my god, this guy has so
He produces
many
a lot of music.
albums. I mean, I'm sure they're not albums. It's probably like experimental music is what happened when you get really high and you sit down with your DAW and your MIDI controller
little
late
controller.
at night, and
You're
you
like-
just record whatever you do.
This one drone sounds so good.
I can
It's
tell
like,
you already.
Yeah.
Let's not even worry about it.
Yeah, let's not
We
worry
heard some.
about it.
But I do want to. I am curious about the putts.
The putts.
Mad Monster Party.
The Putts. Okay, we're gonna look up The Putts. We're gonna listen to Oh, is it a cover of Mad Monster Party? Oh, jeez. Mad Monster Party. Mad Monster Party.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know Mad Monster Party. So.
What? Mad Monster Party was actually the Halloween special that the same people that made Rudolph. What was it? Rankin and Bass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Rankin and Bass. Rankin and Bass? Yeah, I think so. They made Mad Monster Party, which was like the same type of stop animation characters. Okay, let's listen to Mad Monster Party.
Oh, that's where From Dusk Till Dawn came from.
It's a mad, 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 mad monster party. It's a mad, 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 mad monster party. It's a mad, 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 mad monster party tonight. It's a mad, 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 mad monster party. It's a mad, 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 mad monster party. You know, it's gonna be a
Is this what the songs were like on the show?
No.
Okay. All right.
Oh, something.
Cool. Cool. All right, you got more?
Yes, of course I have more.
Goddamn.
This was the Vth Circle.
What?
Vth.
The Vth Circle. No, it's. I'm sure it's the Fifth Circle, but it's spelled VTH.
Oh, like
So
the
like
Roman
Roman numeral five.
Oh yeah, kind of like the
Um,
band Five that spells their name with a phi IVE.
Yes. They should
I'm
be
going
on
to call
there.
them the VTH Circle.
The Vth Circle.
Good for SEO. Nice
the
work.
album that we're gonna play is actually not on Bandcamp,
Okay, so we'll just get a look at these fine
but you can look at them. So
Oh, wow.
the song
gentlemen
is
and gentle lady.
The Intense Vibrations.
Whoa, gentle folk.
Ooh, got themselves a. I think they're from Vancouver.
Yes.
I was
it
gonna
says
say
that.
they look Canadian.
Do
I don't
they?
know what. Yeah, I don't-
What about them looks Canadian exactly, Mark?
because they look American, but you would never see kids like that in America.
No? Yeah.
Wow. Canada just breeds like metal people. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
they
Like it's
do.
like
Yeah.
it's much more common that like just whoever can be a fucking dope fucking metal act.
They're Vancouver too. Yeah. I know
Yeah.
exactly where that
That little
underground
tunnel
thing
is?
that they're
Yeah.
standing in. Yeah.
Oh. All right.
All right.
Kaniki is playing vocals, but I is
Playing
singing
vocals?
vocals, but I don't think probably is Kaniki named after the character Kaniki from Greece.
I don't know. I mean,
Is this a Grease-themed metal band?
I
Here we
hope
go.
so.
Oh,
The
awesome.
intense vibrations. Oh,
Uh-oh,
yeah.
we know what that is.
I was like, what's Mark up to?
Oh, something's gonna happen.
That took a turn.
Yeah. Where do you think that's gonna go?
I don't know. I don't dislike
Should
it though.
we find out? All right.
I'm just trying to figure out what this is.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's something I've never heard before.
Yeah, it isn't like anything else. I'm confused. I have issues with some production choices because it's like really clean, and some of the sounds to my ear are not great. The drums don't sound great. I would like to hear that with that Pale Swordsman production.
Yeah.
But the same music.
Yeah.
Just do it on a cassette 4-track and you're all
Yeah.
set.
Yeah, just bring an old reel-to-reel 4-track into your studio and set up a couple mics and just go fucking raw.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And were those real drums?
I have no idea.
Could you tell Mark?
They,
mean,
they
it says
sounded
there's
like they sounded like triggers, but I mean, they could just be like gated to all shit. You know,
Yeah.
they had no
The
fucking,
drummer.
you know, they had no room sound. That's for sure.
Yeah, it lists the drummer. So here's my theory: is that the woman in this band is the vocalist.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. It's my guess. I mean, if you look, I mean, it's really difficult to tell from the
Dave's
names
Mike.
for sure, but
Ramil.
Dave and Mike probably.
Yeah. I mean, Kaniki or Nakuset, either one of those could be a female name.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
bass was doing some rooms.
I mean, but
heard
then
a lot
again,
of rooms.
what do we know? That could be Mike.
I don't know.
I mean,
Who the fuck? But like none of it makes sense together. Like the logo doesn't make sense with the band photo. Doesn't make sense with.
It's like a weird cross between like modern proggy metal, like almost new metal, but then there's elements of death metal. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to put it into a bucket. I'm fine leaving things out of buckets, but I do think I would be curious to hear it produced in a different way.
Yeah.
yeah. I was looking at you had the cover up for Playland, and that's a real place in Vancouver.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so that's probably like a interpretation. Obviously, it's not like that, but Playland is actually they had a big. It was sort of like a smaller version of Great America, and they had like a bandstand, or not a bandstand, but like a arena where you would go see shows.
Mm.
And I saw Iron Maiden there on
Ooh.
the Somewhere Back in Time. No, yeah, Somewhere Back in Time. The Somewhere Back in Time tour, which was in like 2009 or something like that, 2010.
Sick.
so this
This
is
is awesome.
This is a single release apparently about Playland. So let's hear some of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
My adrenaline junkie friend takes me up, around, and back again. See the world through blinded eyes until the whiskey well is done and dry.
waiting for like a super proggy breakdown right there.
I like the production on that better.
Yeah, sounds a lot
I
better.
wonder when this one came out. Does it say?
Yeah, it says
2018.
2018.
I like how they have their what the instruments they play as well as their role in the band. So they've got bass. He also does promotion. Vocals and lyrics, drums and transportation.
Oh, okay.
Guitar and production, guitar and inspiration.
Oh, cheerleader. Nice.
Sorry, all I can bring to the table is guitar. But I'm a real nice guy.
It's the way to keep everybody in line. Man.
Yeah, right.
No,
right.
it says it on the record. You have to do this.
Yeah.
So,
Wow,
so that dude's like non-stop designated driver. Bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
I wonder. So I
awesome.
wonder if one of these people worked or works at Playland, or if they just went fucking big one night at
Yeah.
Playland. You know.
That's crazy.
Playland did them dirty. Too much whiskey and some roller coasters.
Yeah.
Wow, the stories that the like people that grew up there used to tell me at work about Playland were just insane. We did a work event there once, but actually I should compare it more to like that kindergarten place. Oh shit, that we always used to go to. I can't remember.
Gilroy Gardens.
No, the smaller one.
Happy
Hollow. It was like, so Playland was kind of like, actually it was like Gilroy Gardens, except it's separate thing. And so like the rest of it was called the P&E, and the P&E, it was Playland was in the P&E, and they had all the other stuff.
All right, so
I'm gonna get my
confirmed.
facts straight.
The woman is the
Okay.
bass player.
Oh, okay.
If you listen to this, were you playing a fretless on one of those songs? Because I heard some sweet slides, and I didn't hear a lot of fret interruption. I'm always excited to hear a fretless in
Can
metal.
you see?
She is playing
There's
a
a lot of strings on
She's
that
playing a
thing.
6-string, so probability of fretless increases with number of strings added.
Yeah.
I just hopped over to their Facebook. What the hell?
Damn.
Is this page sharing? I never know. It still is, right?
Should be.
Yeah. No, I saw
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, they're posting. They're busy.
Nice. Good for them.
Nice. Yeah.
Got almost 3,000 followers on Facebook.
What is that picture? No, yeah, that's amazing.
All right.
Is that Bert Kreischer?
It looks like Bert Kreischer. All
Well,
right.
not so much. Oh my god.
The Vth Circle. If you come to San Jose, we got a show for you.
Oh, sweet.
Man.
I like what you're doing. I like the amount of fucks that you give.
We
Which
like
is,
the amount of leather and
0.
hair you're laying down.
Mhm.
Can I zoom in far enough to see that there are in fact no fucking frets on that bass?
Why would you put frets on a 6-string bass with active pickups?
It's just got lines, baby.
Yeah.
Just got lines, baby.
Oh,
Do all those funky Les Claypool taps.
Ooh, I could hear it in the slides. She was doing these vroom.
Oh,
and they
I
just,
think these were their Halloween costumes, which are amazing. I was hoping they played like that all the time.
All the time.
What's this guy's name? The country singer from Canada.
From Canada.
Pat. His name's like something Peck.
Oh yeah, it's Orville Peck.
Orville Peck. Yeah, she's
yeah.
dressed.
Oh,
she's
that's
like,
a total Orville Peck. Yeah. Good eye.
you-
I bet their shows are really fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was all over the place in a good way.
Mhm.
Yeah, all over the place in a good way.
But go
It
into
is-
a barn with a 4-track and record for me.
Yeah.
I want to hear it
I want to hear what it sounds
like that. Well, no, don't do anything for me. I'm nobody. But
That photo in the middle, is that dude's head superimposed onto somebody else? Why does
This
that
one?
look Yeah. Why does that look weird to me? Okay, no, it's from further away. It just looks like that.
This is killing me.
how many times have they
Oh.
photoshopped this head onto other bodies?
I need to go to their Facebook page right now and follow them
2, 3,
because
4, 5,
they have a very fun page.
yeah, she's got 6. He's got 7. Let's play Count the Strings.
What band has the most strings total?
All right, is he rocking a 7 over? Oh, I keep getting these.
That is Bert Kreischer. That's got to be superimposed.
It's burnt
That is- holy shit.
burnt Chrysler.
Yeah, it's 7.
Fuck,
Oh my
they're
God.
working with 20 strings.
This is amazing.
Mm.
These photos are killing me.
Yeah.
People need to either, if you're listening, you need to watch the YouTube or just go to their Facebook.
I mean, they
page.
posted these on November 1st, so you have to assume they played
It's
a
a Halloween
they
show.
played a Halloween show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh.
Did you go to any of
Good
the
job,
the
Vancouver.
weekend Halloween festivities in San Francisco? There was some fun shows.
I know. No, I was working and I'm just trying to lay low because, like I said, I'm traveling to go see my parents. And
So not being in.
Yeah, they're getting older. I don't want to be a dick.
No,
I'll
you're
have plenty of time to go out. I wish I went out this year because there was so many fucking good things happening.
well in that cover show where Sonny from Necrot and the drummer from Owl and Deathgrave Clint did a whole Thin Lizzy. It was all the tribute lineups that Bottom of the Hill does.
Yeah,
But
and you know that Sonny fucking owned all those solos. I'm sure.
Oh, 100%.
That dude's so good.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
So good.
We have him and his lady on deck for recording an episode together. I sold her a bass amp.
She belonged to him, Jeff.
Cool.
No. We got. I know her.
I'm kidding.
I know her Facebook name is Princess Vuvu, but I'm not sure. Just sounds weird to say, but yeah,
We have Sonny and Vuvu lined up.
Sonny and Vuvu. Yeah.
There you go. That works.
Yeah. They were super awesome when they came down. She was so stoked to have a new amp that sounds good, and
Awesome.
that was like right before the pandemic, I think.
I would think that, if you are a guitarist, you want an amp that sounds good.
She's a bass player.
A bass is a guitar.
You were fucking with me, and I know it.
You are fired, JD.
All right, what's next?
More music. Greyborn. In Greyborn, somebody has some sweet chops. I'm not talking musical.
Oh, you're talking Sideburns?
Yeah.
From Nouvelle Aquitaine, France?
Yes, they're from France.
We are from France.
They better sound just like Gojira.
Greyborn.
Heavy psych rock, stoner rock. Yeah, and that mustache is pretty sweet too.
I'm enjoying the very minimalist aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
It's somehow very French metal.
What are we gonna hear?
There's no. Well, you just said what it sounds like.
Did I?
Yeah, you just read.
Oh, I was reading the tags at the bottom. You're right, I did. Do you think it'll be heavy metal, heavy psych,
All right.
heavy stoner?
Okay, so those are their tags. So let's play judge their tagging ability. Did they choose the right tags?
Okay, did they choose the right tags? Here we go.
They chose all of them. So Limoges.
Is that where that's probably where they're from?
Yeah. Instant yes.
A clock striking midnight makes the bravest heart crack. No word, no bleeding, no sound. Intangible, pitch black. Candles, cold glowing marble. Shadows dancing on the paving stones. Slide the shadows, lock the door. Folding hands implore. Then give your guidance, 'cause you are not dying. Then the blindfolds.
I like it. It was a really interesting melodic choices on
Very.
on the vocals.
On the
Yeah, I'm
vocals.
almost say that they lean almost dark wave or a little goth.
Yeah.
It's not like typical stoner,
Yeah, and there was a couple times where the next note that I was expecting was just like a half step off of what he
what he would
picked.
do, but it still works.
But it worked great because it made it kind of a little creepier or a little dissonant or a little it's definitely popped out.
So apparently the drummer is the singer.
Oh wow.
Always impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both moist and hard, hot and cold, psychedelic and industrial. Moist and hard.
Did they know how uncomfortable the word moist is to English speaking people?
And wouldn't it be moist and dry? Not moist and hard.
Moist
no,
and hard.
they're tumescent. They're ready to go.
Okay.
Just say it. Just say tumescent. That's what you mean.
Tumescent.
It's fine.
Soggy. It's soggy and hard.
We're presenting.
Soggy and flaccid.
We're presenting. And
Those are two horrible words.
that's why I don't eat cereal. To me, that is what cereal is.
Flaccid.
Soggy and flaccid.
Oh, I
You take
had
a
the
delicious.
most flaccid breakfast this morning.
I just never got it. You take this crunchy, delicious thing that's so yummy, and then you put it in milk, and then it's just all.
Except it still has that coating on it that's still supposed to make it crispy.
No bullshit. Doesn't exist.
Doesn't
I want to
last
hear
long.
more. I'm gonna scoot halfway through here and let's
Do.
listen to a little bit more.
Mm.
Okay.
All right.
Well, that's
Get
cool.
some- Got some truck fighters going on in there.
Yeah, truck fighters and like, Queen's inspired production on the
Mhm.
guitar. I love the like drop out, the level drop out and then
Yeah,
back
the-
in.
I thought
weird
that was
EQ
cool.
scoop.
I
Yeah.
thought it was like a bad mix, and then it
Well,
then when it
it-
came
yeah.
back,
it
I
is-
was like,
it is
oh, they
kinda
meant
like-
to do that.
Someone
Yeah.
leaned on the EQ and then went, oh, got it back.
Yeah.
So interesting to me that this is their only output. This is the only thing on Bandcamp right now.
One song.
One song, one supporter. I fully expected if you had just played me that, I would have expected to come on here and see all the Doom charts, like supporters and
You know
judges, like writing reviews and
what?
shit.
Here is, I think.
They have 2 pages.
I'm gonna go back because not back. I'm gonna try to pull up the email. I want to say that the email had said that this single was premiered on the Obelisk.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
mean-
Which, but still, like, one supporter?
Yeah, no Bucky yet.
No.
Where's
Yeah, where?
right?
Where's all
Right.
the usual reviews you see?
Yeah. No Sleeping Shaman, no Pat Harrington.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it.
I like it. It's cool. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll have to look that up.
All right. Rises from the ashes of Mama's Gun, a previous band which allowed them to refine their heavy, nuanced rock. What I like about that, and I like a wild production and lots of layers, but I think that if you went and saw them, they would reproduce that
Yeah.
almost exactly.
Like,
With-
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that was like a very live feeling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, this came in from Purple Sage.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Interesting.
They'll get more than one supporter.
Yeah.
Nope.
They'll get more than one supporter.
I wonder if this is like a single to introduce the band, or if this is the first song of an upcoming release.
Yeah.
I'm sure the press
This
release
says
probably says it.
debut single After Dark video. Oh, the video premiered on the Obelisk.
Ah.
The debut EP is coming winter of 2022. That's a year from now.
Well, they
Maybe
say
maybe they do different. Maybe winter 2022 could be January or February.
Oh, yeah, I guess it could be
Coming
January,
January.
February, couldn't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
or they're just being realistic and they're not
Yeah.
releasing it until the vinyl's
We're going
done.
to wait till we
Right.
get the vinyl.
Yeah. Yeah.
A year from now.
Oh shit, man! King Buffalo posted a picture. Actually, I should just find it since
I did get an email from
on
Quicksand.
Facebook.
Quicksand is going to give us a free slip mat because the vinyl is taking so long.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's such a bummer, man. I mean, it's to be expected, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
Oh man, we got more music.
Do
What are you
we?
looking up over there?
I was going to pull this up because I think this is a really impressive feat.
King Buffalo.
So we talk about King Buffalo a lot. They're a really interesting and good model for a band kind of just like running all their shit themselves and being successful at it.
Hmm.
They had ordered represses of all their records so far, and they took forever to get in. Look at that fucking stack of records
Wow.
that showed up that are probably like largely sold already.
That's fucking insane.
And they're packing and shipping every one of those records. So every
Where
box,
is that? Are they?
Yeah, that's like
they
you
look
got to quit
they're
your
at a
day
venue.
job.
yeah, just to ship.
All right.
Like each one of those Pirates press boxes is what, 40 records?
40
It's
or
like
50, yeah.
Yeah, it's like 20 or 25 per small box, and there's 2 small boxes inside. And every one of these cases has like a shit ton of the bigger boxes. That's a lot of
When did
records.
they do all those
Yeah.
represses, I wonder?
They announced it at the same time they announced, I think, the pre-order for The Burden of Restlessness.
Oh, was
I
it?
vaguely remember they said, and we were ordering represses too.
Gotcha.
But it's been a while. But fucking good for you. That's 3 guys and maybe their families making a living off of a band with no strings. Their only label association is in Europe. They're on Stickman. They're on Nick's label.
Okay.
But I mean, they're like best friends. So
right.
I'm sure
And
he's
that's just
not.
probably easier for them to deal with international distribution and all that.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Nick's already pressing records over there. So
Right.
Did I
Who
order
has
the new
distro?
record?
did you order? Yes, you did.
I did, right?
Yeah, you ordered it right away, and you got one of the like limited copies.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, I think.
Well, you got
I'm
2
pretty sure I got 2.
because you got one for me.
I'm so nice.
You are. I was talking with that. I was talking to my wife today. Like you get that I'm not an early riser and you are. So whenever there's an early morning pre-sale, he just gets 2. He's
Yeah.
like, we'll sort it out later.
Yeah.
Jeff
The ones
won't
that
be
come out
awake yet.
noon, you can do yourself. No.
I'll announce this now because the tickets will already be on sale.
Oh boy.
But if there are any left, is that JD floated an idea to me that maybe we should make one of those 4 Yob shows that was just announced, our first trip to St. Vitus,
Mm-hmm.
and go to New York in February. So any listeners, we're gonna try and grab tickets for the Saturday night show, the first show in St. Vitus. So we want to have some kind of a meetup, and we end up going for sure.
That'd be awesome.
It'd be
They're-
fun as hell.
They're doing that show in LA too, right?
Yeah, well, they're here. They're playing Felton Music Hall and the Great American Music Hall.
They're
Oh,
doing
fuck.
Pacific Northwest December.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then they're doing 4 shows at St. Vitus in December. No, in February. And then
February.
they're
Okay.
coming back for like another sort of Western United States tour in March.
In March.
And that's when they're coming here.
Yeah.
It's
They're
like March 25th.
They're
Sacramento.
so fucking good live, man. I can't wait to
Yeah.
see them again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we know. I mean, I know Nathan said that he tried to rebook all the same openers that were on before, so that means Broom will be on the
Oh,
Great
sweet.
American Music Hall show because they were
Nice.
already booked for the
That's
Oakland
so
the
awesome.
Oakland Metro show.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All
They must be psyched.
Oh
Right?
Jesus!
Like,
Can you
go
believe-
out to
that
Sacramento.
show was it March or April of 2020 that show was originally
was supposed
scheduled?
to happen?
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be April,
I wanted
So-
to say
or
it
maybe the end of
was-
March.
I thought it was February, and then it got postponed to April, and then it got postponed to July,
Yeah, never.
and then it was just never rebooked.
April was the I mean, 2 years, 2 whole fucking years between
Yeah.
when
Oh,
that
yeah, it
show
would've
was
been
supposed
February. That would've made
supposed to
sense.
happen and then when it actually did happen.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
What's you guys' take on like just on what's going to happen with shows? Because I mean, it's obvious this thing's not going away, and the powers that be are kind of fucking winging it at this point.
Yeah.
So I mean, shows are definitely coming back, and I think with vaccines and people wearing masks and stuff like that, and people trying to be respectful, obviously it's going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
But do you see that progressing? I mean, or do you
Yeah, I
see
mean,
it like being because it still feels like a little not forced, but it there's just like that tension, and it's like obviously
Yeah.
shows aren't as well attended because they can't be.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I don't know. And then you go to another part of the country and it's just not like that at all. Everybody's just doing normal.
Doing whatever, yeah.
So for me, unless something changes in the science, like
Mhm.
figure out a way to prevent the variants, the vaccine booster like goes into full effect, cases start to really disappear, I'm going to shows in San Francisco as long as they have mask mandates and vaccine requirements, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like
Fair enough.
maybe we would buy tickets, but I would go to Great American Music Hall over the one in Felton
Felton Music Hall.
because Santa Cruz is the Wild West right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Felton Music Hall would be fun as hell. It's a fun
Yeah,
place to
it'd be
see a
amazing.
show up in the
Mhm.
mountains, but
Yeah.
I'm still going to the Great American Music Hall. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
that's my take. We still have one out of the 8 of us of our 2 families that's not vaccinated. So
Mhm.
we have one under 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the biggest concern.
That's the biggest concern here.
Yeah.
The rest of us are I mean, my daughter's in college. It was interesting. So we went to like the elementary school that our kids went to. They did their annual fundraiser, like walkathon. Every school does something like that. And they canceled it last year. This year they did it in person. And even though we don't have kids there anymore, the kids wanted to go and we kind of wanted to go. And we ran into the principal and we were like, so how's it been going? And he's like, we've had 5 cases in the whole year so far,
With
and
like
and none
400 kids.
none of the cases originated here or spread from here. There were just 5 kids that tested, 5 people, kids or teachers that tested positive, but nothing happened.
Yeah.
And University of Oregon has a dashboard that we can check in where our older daughter is, and it's been almost nothing. And and the common denominator is the people who are who can be vaccinated in both places are, and everywhere else they're wearing masks inside. And I think it's just that simple.
Yeah. I'm with you on that for sure. It's just hard. It's hard to see because we live in a bubble. Like definitely, I live in a bubble. And San Francisco is like always
The bubbliest bubble.
Oh yeah, super. And then I'm traveling to Boston, which the Northeast is kind of a bubble too. So it's like it's going to be pretty similar. I feel like so it's like it's hard to get a sense of what's going on elsewhere. I have seen videos of like shows where people are just fucking like no mask, nothing, just fucking people raging.
Doing it.
You know.
So like, JD went to Utah. You want to talk about that?
That was scary. It was. There's nothing there. It's like, wearing a mask might be beneficial. It might not. Like, it was. They're not required at all. No vaccines are required for anything. It's. I think some people are doing it independently. But it was scary. It was. Honestly, I just felt. It felt so weird. I felt like the outcast walking around, going into stores with my mask on.
Well, it's very much monkey see, monkey do. There are lots of nice people who care about people in Utah and don't want people to die accidentally. But
and I will say that I was out in like it's an area called Draper and Sandy, which is like it's the suburbs. It's like Salt Lake proper, from what I understand, is incredible. Everybody's wearing their mask. It's that's Salt Lake proper is more like a regular big city where
any place that gets densely populated, you're probably going to see more of it. But, I
don't know. That's where I am, at least. That's where we are.
Eventually we'll get. What are we at now? Like 80. Well, on Santa Clara County. Santa Clara County, I think, is like over 80%.
Oh yeah, San Jose is the most vaccinated city in the country.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
good going, guys.
Yeah. Of all the large cities, like somebody did every cities with population over X, and we were the highest percentage of
per capita.
So we're safe. We're safe here, but still,
right?
No,
it's like everybody I know that's fucking gotten it. It's all been breakthrough cases. Like 13 out of like 25 people I work with got it. Yeah, all after they got vaccinated, like within a couple months of being vaccinated, and it was like right when they did the. Okay, you don't need to wear masks anymore, yada yada. And then like I think everybody went a little bit big.
Crazy.
They went hard. Yeah.
So we did.
And none of them died though, right?
No, a couple of them got sick, got like legitimately sick. Some of them like asymptomatic, But I guess it's one of those things like, well, it affects everybody differently. It's almost individual based. So
I think the hindsight on the whole thing is going to be how scary the long-term effects are, because it's this inflammatory thing that seems to be like multi-systemic. So it's not just a lung thing. It's like people's ears and their fucking feet and their hearts,
their joints and shit.
Their joints. It's like that shit scares me.
Yeah.
And so and people who are sick and got sick and are suffering effects, and they're going to find out in 10 years that like we're going to have a massive early die-off of people from after effects from the disease.
But then like there's other people that are saying, oh, the people that get vaccinated, they're all going to die in 10 years. You know what I mean? Like this. So it's one of those things. It's like nobody they're just kind of winging it, and nobody really knows what the fuck is going on.
Well, I can just say those people are wrong first. They're not. We're not.
I hope I don't die in 10 years.
We're not. But and then you could probably read something if you cared to actually understand things that would convince you if you would read it with an open mind. But we know you're not going to do that at this point. So fuck it. Usually is like someone 1 degree of separation away from them has to die, and then people's minds change. And even then, sometimes they're just like, so.
Yeah. So hasn't gotten me yet.
Well, this guy.
I just want to fucking go to shows, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Hang out and have a good time. Want to be able to play shows easily and find fucking new band members and all that shit. That's been another thing. It's just finding other people to play with. It's like, for the first year, it was just like forget about it. You know? Like you're not like nobody wants to get in a fucking practice space, and that's kind of what spooked to the Lowcaster guys away. But now it's just like people are starting to kind of come back out of the woodwork, but it's You know, it's like you're combing a desert at this point. You know.
Yeah.
Between all the people that left San Francisco,
Oh
and
my
the Bay
God!
Area,
Mass exodus. Where did they all go? Is there something I'm missing? Like, did everybody go to someplace cool and I'm not invited?
a lot of people moved down to the desert. I read an article about how all those people are now having to reckon with what it actually means to live in the desert, in the desert, and not just
You
the
mean it's more
desert.
than just listening to Caius and going
Fucking
to
Death Valley is the hottest point on Earth.
Right.
I mean, it's like, yeah, it's California.
120 degrees.
It's an hour from LA, but it's still hell.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Your
I know
tires are melting.
I know a fair number of people who moved up to Oregon. I know a bunch of people who maybe had red signs on their front yards who moved to Texas. I mean, personally, no. We know about the well-known, the Joe Rogans and shit, but I mean, like,
a lot of people went
families
to Texas.
from our school.
Yeah.
We're like, fuck all this. We're going to Texas where we can be free,
Right.
only to lose their reproductive rights. And
Yeah.
A bunch of the things that I did read, though, was that not as many people left the actual state.
No.
They just left the cities
Right.
and moved to, like, Sacramento or
well, I mean, honestly,
like
the
Stockton.
housing market in San Jose, where we are, exploded.
Oh, my God.
Because even we have more space and a reasonable distance from San Francisco if you still need to be there sometimes. And so, yeah, a lot of it's just a lot of like suburban people moved out to the suburbs. Rents went down.
This is the part of the show where we talk about suburban sprawl and real estate prices.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Thanks for tuning in.
I think rent went down here for like maybe 4 months, and then it's just like, and then like the real estate people realize like, oh, all the people that left San Francisco are actually they're still paying for their apartments. They just have other properties somewhere else. So it's been like this whole like, some people have 2 properties and some people have none, and that's that's been like a thing that's always happened in SF. That's always been a problem, but it's became very apparent.
Interesting.
Because of the pandemic. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
Crazy.
More music?
Yes, please.
We've got at least one more.
All right, let's hear one. One more is good.
I don't know how to pronounce it. It's either AU or AUA or it's just AUA. And it's AUAband.bandcamp. Oh, you found it already. Look at that. So this one is like there is on Bandcamp. We're getting special today because on Bandcamp there is no single out. It doesn't come out until January 21st. However, because it was their PR person that sent it over, or PR company,
You got special Bandcamp
we
link?
got one of those promo jukebox links.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So let's. I want to. This one says it's featuring Annika. So we know there's going to be singing. So I want to hear it. So let's give it a go. Maybe. Maybe. Oh wait. Okay. There we go.
Okay. Now we hear sounds. Seems pretty chill.
Islands come to breathe. Islands come to me, and I know you so well. I know you so want to know me too. Know me too. Know me too. And I know you so well. I know you so want to. Rivers may flow through our minds. The speed of our internal organs in trouble again. My eyes too big for this beer. Islands come to breathe.
Huh.
I like this.
Yeah.
You don't?
No, I'm
Not
into it.
I'm confused. No, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know. But when I read they were from Leipzig, Germany,
Yeah.
all I could think of is now is the time on Sprockets where we dance. Or whatever.
Is that where he's from? Leipzig?
It's German. I think that was part of the joke. But yeah. That was a horrible impression of him. Sorry. Of Dita from Sprockets.
Of Dita.
Dita.
I think that's really cool.
I was
actually
struggling with her melody and trying to decide if she was making interesting choices or like missing notes, and they just went with it.
I think she was making interesting choices.
Artistic. And so I was waiting for more of the music to fill in so that I could get a sense of how the melody matched up, but all we get is like some drums and a little bit of a bass line and some ambient keyboards. So I still am struggling with like what the melody's doing, but that's my issue, not theirs.
She's only on that
really
one
well.
song apparently, so
yeah. She wrote the lyrics for that song. It says too.
Where'd
it say that?
They said it like
at the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trust me, it said it. Are you calling me a liar?
Gosh.
This is the episode where we break up.
Yeah. This is the breakup episode.
Yeah.
It got too intense.
Lyrics and vocal line for Island Song written by Annika Henderson.
Oh, man, you proved me wrong.
They're in the studio going, yeah, Annika, you can keep that vocal line. It's great.
I liked it. No.
No, like the tone of her voice is beautiful. Like everything about her voice was beautiful. I just wasn't sure. I'd have to
It
listen to
has to be, dude. It has to be intentional because like there's so much. Everything else on there is pretty digital. There's no way if it was wrong that they wouldn't have.
Wouldn't just correct it.
Yeah. Well, let's
play
do a little more. Let's do a little more here. Very dreamy, like very.
It sounds like Air.
It is very airy. That is a good call out.
Lots of like weird chord changes, weird key changes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's so hard to write a melody for and sing to.
Right.
Yeah, completely. I think it's cool. I'll listen to it when it comes out.
Yeah,
Actually, I guess I can
wanna
listen to
hear
it
the
before
other
it comes out.
Yeah.
I want to hear the other stuff for sure.
Yeah, I could. You could hear that in like on the soundtrack of like a whoever's the next David Lynch indie movie, like some creepy scene in a bar where some lady's dancing by herself and there's like a giraffe in the corner, like eating shrubs, and you're just like, yeah, that's right, that makes sense.
Behind the red curtain, checkerboard floor.
Well, you guys have seen Blue Velvet, right?
Yeah.
There's a bar scene in Blue Velvet, and then there's just like, or is it in Wild at Heart? It's one of them. There's just it's in Wild at Heart. There's just an old lady at the bar, and the camera just like pans across her while she goes like this, and you're just like, what am I watching? What is going on here?
Am I supposed to pay attention to her?
What does it all mean? I need the decoder ring for David Lynch films usually.
Oh my God.
It just tells you to drink your Ovaltine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Christmas story pull.
Yeah. We're fucking like 3 days out of Halloween and we're already doing the Christmas shit.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I mean, if everybody else is, I might as well.
I took my kid to Target last night and they already had all the Christmas decorations and shit, and she was so mad. It's November 1st. Why are they Addie was playing Christmas music. Why?
Really? She does love Christmas music. I don't know. I love Christmas music, but I wait till I don't want to get sick of it. You know what I hate?
What?
I hate like when modern bands try to do Christmas albums.
Oh God, yeah, it's
just the worst.
It's bad, and it's like it's obviously usually just a fucking cash grab, you know?
Yeah, they're so bad. Like especially the punk does Christmas.
Yeah,
like,
no.
Please don't do Christmas punk. Like we don't need that.
The first a very special Christmas album with the Christmas in Hollis rap by Run DMC. And then the Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas. That's all I want.
The only
from,
modern.
Like, modern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, if it didn't come from like the 20s to 40s, it wasn't good Christmas.
But what was that one band that we listened to on here on the Jordan Olds episode?
Oh yeah, they were awesome.
Who did
Vasum?
like? Yeah,
I think it was Vasum or
They did
Vasum.
like fucking Crystal Knock, like like Krampus Christmas songs.
Oh,
And it was
nice.
all-
Super, like,
it was
yeah.
all
Dark goth.
It was gothy. Yeah, you would like
It
it.
was awesome. But
And
they
we-
released a Halloween song.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
We didn't know it when we first started listening, and you could see us all listening and then deciphering the lyrics. And then Jordan, I think, figured out first. He's like, "This is a fucking Christmas song. This is amazing."
Oh, that's right. That was on the Jordan episode, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
no, he fell in love.
That's
Yeah,
great.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I'm okay when bands are like writing their own Christmas song. You know what I mean? It's just
it's
like
in
when
a-
you do covers of shit.
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
bummer.
Exactly. I mean, there's been some good modern Christmas songs.
Wait, so is this
Some.
their Halloween record?
This is their. Yeah. It's not a song. It's a whole record.
What? Give me some song titles.
Lycanthrope, Vampire, Frankenstein Girl, Vampire Killer, Witch Lich, Phantoms, Witch Tech, Summon Her, Romany Way.
All right, just pick your favorite and let's hear it.
Oh man,
Vampire Killer.
Vampire Killer. Okay, Vampire Killer. Here we go. Well, yeah. Okay.
It's like a 2-piece, and like nice.
That's so awesome.
So they had enough success with the Christmas album that they decided to make a
Make
Halloween.
a Halloween album.
I think they're a couple.
I want them so badly to just be like these two people that work in HR at like GE, and they met, and they're like, "You like industrial music? I fucking like industrial music.
We should start a band."
Like, we should start a band. Like, that's what I want. I don't think that's that's not the same.
So here's where I thought that was going. I fucking want them
So bad.
so bad. Not that I disagree, but
I love them.
yeah, Vazum, Witch Lich,
I don't think we ever figured out how it's actually pronounced.
Witch Tech. Oh, I love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's the? Oh, they've got. Man, they've been busy.
They've been very big. Holy shit. I think they just locked themselves away during the pan. Oh, these are all singles.
Yeah, Vazum Knocked. That was the one we listened to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if it had this cover when we
I
listened to
think
it.
it did.
No, did it?
I'm pretty
so
sure
we're
it
just
did.
dumb and didn't figure out what it was.
No.
Yes,
Maybe.
they do Carol of the Witch. That was
Carol the Witch.
It's Carol of the Bells, but like
Yep.
Unholy Night.
this is going on my Christmas playlist for sure.
Yeah. Nice.
It'll be Mariah Carey and then Carol of the Witch.
Yeah, I wonder if they're on Spotify. Since you can't make playlists on Bandcamp. All right.
All right. Well, that was a lot of goddamn music.
That was fun.
Writing up the show description is going to require tagging so many people.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Oh god, that's actually the hardest part of all of this is like writing up the notes and then tagging all the
The hashtags.
Seriously.
So maybe we're not smart to listen to. Oh, we didn't listen to that much.
Hashtag JD. Hashtag Jeff.
Yeah.
Hashtag Mark.
Well, no, it's or when you make the Facebook post and you have to do the @ and then pull up their band page, but it's so picky in how it finds the pages, so that I always have another screen parallel where I have to type Facebook and then the name of the band, so that I can read the end of the URL and type that after the @ sign. That's what I have to do to tag bands, because when you just type their name, no band comes up on Facebook.
Really?
Right.
No, because like the names are always some generic thing. Like Vazum Knocked might, but you always have to do like SF whatever band,
Yeah,
or
that's
whatever
true.
band HCNY, or
Yeah.
and however the technology works to actually.
HCNY. Look at you. Damn.
I had to tag the fucking Chris Enriquez episode. I think 2 of his bands are band name HCNY as the Facebook page.
Nice.
Fuck New York hardcore kid.
That's awesome.
Look, both recording lights are still on.
Oh yeah.
My shit's still going too.
Oh,
I mean,
nice.
I'd flip this around and show you,
is
but
exciting.
then something will unplug and then I'll lose all of it. So
Yeah,
I'm not going to do
please.
that.
I'm on
But,
an iMac. I can't flip it around, or else it will unplug.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, let me
Nice.
try. Hold on.
No,
That
no.
thing's falling off if you breathe on it wrong.
Yeah, so if you have a chance to send the file before you leave, don't worry about it.
No,
But you
I'll send
can,
it to you
but-
tonight. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doing show business at the end of the show. But I was glad to have you back. Looking forward to hopefully
Do you have a different hometown band?
just dunk on us for 2 hours when you get the old
Seriously.
file.
Yeah.
I think you probably know enough now and have enough ammunition that you can just dunk left and right.
Check our grammar.
Uh-huh.
Talk shit on me
Oh, look, he's-
mispronouncing things.
Oh God, this story is going on for 6 hours.
Holy fuck.
No, I'll randomly mute one of you, so it look like one of you is just talking to yourself.
Oh,
Or just me laughing. It would
yeah.
just be-
Just a loop of JD laughing. But hey, have a good trip. Enjoy.
dude.
Is this your first big trip?
Since
Like first time
COVID?
flying?
First time on a plane.
Ever.
Yeah. Yeah. I went all the way to exotic Santa Cruz back in July.
Ooh,
Wow,
That place
look at
is
you.
really, really nice.
Yeah, we did. I've been on.
It's not the Wild West.
It is. It's the fucking Wild West, man. They're lawless out there. All those,
I love it.
all those mountain people come down. That's a different breed up there in the mountains.
It's awesome though. It's so
Yeah.
good.
Oh yeah, completely. I like the mountain people.
Yeah.
The mountain people meet the ocean people. It's
Until
it's
they
it's not
start-
supposed to work, but it does.
It's not supposed to work.
Until
That's
they-
what makes Santa Cruz so unique.
But they like start fires, burning each other's pot farms down because somebody narked on somebody else, and then the whole mountain burns down because they're fucking.
That's not good because we're on the other side of that mountain.
Yeah, we're right on the other side of that mountain. I had ash in my backyard.
Not good. Not
So.
good.
And you were getting
Right.
high the whole time.
Oh yeah, baby.
That is the nice thing about when there is a fire in the Santa Cruz Mountains.
like-
Is you get like a 20-mile radius of getting high.
Yeah. Zero productivity.
Yep.
0.
All right. Well, you have a killer flight, and
Thanks,
I'm
dude.
sure.
Have a killer flight.
Yeah, have a killer flight.
I've never heard that as a
Hey,
That's
Look,
awesome,
man,
though.
when you haven't been on a plane in years, it's like fucking. When we went, it was like. I mean, you've flown once. It was like an event. I was like, we're doing this.
Is it going to be fun again, or is it going to suck?
No, it's gonna
Just
suck.
tell me it's going to be fun again.
Well,
Shut
here's
up,
what.
JD. Shut
Here,
the
Sorry, man.
here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna have your mask on, and then you're gonna obsess over the person who's like one seat over, who like nurses a beer for the entire flight.
Oh
so
yeah,
that
no
they can
mask. Yeah.
Keep their mask off. It's a move that happens on
Or the one
planes.
person that has like one of those blue kind of foldy medical masks with the like really, and they look it looks like they've been wearing it the entire pandemic.
the
It's
same
like
one-
falling
one-time
apart, it's,
disposable.
like tied in knots.
There's like mustard and all sorts of condiments
It's
hanging
been
off
a
of it.
year and a half. You couldn't get something else.
Yeah, and we did it. We hadn't even been fully vaccinated yet, but we had to. We sort of had to. So
Yeah.
it was nerve wracking, but like we got over it fast. And like hadn't stayed in a hotel, and then we stayed in a hotel, and it was fine. Like
Yeah,
a
the
lot
same,
of it's
right?
like you do those things, and you go, okay, yeah, we can do this.
Yeah.
This is fine.
I just look forward to the one day that I get off a plane and I go, that was a fucking killer flight.
Oh, I have.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
I got
Yeah,
I
I
got
don't think-
I
I
got
must
never
be
had
flying the
one.
wrong airlines.
No, I got a sick ass upgrade on God, one of the JetBlue or one of those
One of those.
sweet. I was a JetBlue flight from Boston. It was a nonstop JetBlue, and I got one of the pods in the front, like with the
Yeah,
full
buddy.
the full bed.
That
and
would
shit.
be a killer
Yeah.
Oh,
flight.
dude, it was awesome.
Mark, I wish you a pod.
I wish you a random upgrade.
Fingers crossed, man.
Yeah.
I know somebody who works for JetBlue, and she might be at the airport tomorrow when I show up.
Are you
Because
flying
she
JetBlue?
she works
nice.
in like the kiosk, like where you check in or whatever. So if I see her, I'm gonna be like, "What can you do for me? I
what's
heard
up?
about these
Yeah, any
pods."
pods.
Yeah.
She's like, tide?
Yeah,
Tide?
it's not every plane. It's only some of the planes. So, all right, man. Well, we will catch you hopefully at a show soon.
Absolutely.
In San Francisco, most likely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Have a
hit
good
me
trip.
up. Let me know what you end up going to in the next couple months.
You know it.
Oh, we will.
Sweet.
All right. Catch you later.
Take care.
That was very in unison.
We did it.
I'm going to go listen to Godfather now.
We fucking did it. All right. Well, we can just be done.
Can we be done?
Yeah.
We don't have to do like a long outro or anything?
Nope, not at all.
Talk about the
Hey.
job shows?
Nope.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody,
Thanks, everybody,
for coming.
for coming, for listening.
For coming hard.
You know-
For hooking up with
Gross.
Vazoom and just getting wild, having a wild goth three-way. Living your most exciting life. Only
They
pulling
look-
up their picture.
They look so nice.
No, they look incredible.
They look, like,
They look amazing.
I want to be their friend. I really do.
Yeah.
And I want to know,
Where
are they a couple? Do
where
they
do they
work in HR together at GE?
I think we have a way to get in touch with them.
I think we do too,
Yeah.
actually. I think they actually, when the first time, had sent us their music directly.
Yes, they did.
So I'm pretty sure. And I know we're joking, but I actually really love it. I think
Yep.
it's awesome.
I do too. All right. Well,
right.
that was this week's episode of
Blind
Thanks for joining us for another week of Blind Submissions. See episode description for the links to all artists discussed in this episode, and visit their sites to support them directly by buying their music and merch. Share links to the podcast with your friends, especially if they're in bands. Bands! If you want us to listen to your music on a future episode, please submit one song to blyndSub@gmail.com. That's BLYND sub@gmail.com. Bandcamp's linked preferred, but not required. Find us on our social media at Blynd Submyshynz. Full video episodes are available on our YouTube. Remember, we go in blind so you don't have to. Blynd Submyshynz.
It's Blynd Submyshynz with Jeff and JD, Jeff and JD, JD and Jeff, JD and Jeff. Blynd Submyshynz with Jeff and JD, Jeff and JD, JD and Jeff, JD and Jeff.